And we're live. Well, for folks that will watch later. But yeah, so right now we're recording. Please DM me or Chris if you do not want your performance to be recorded. Oh yeah, Chris. Please DM us if you don't want your particular performance to be recorded, and we can pause the recording. Am I forgetting anything? I mean, yeah. And so the whole show will be uploaded to our YouTube channel afterwards. I just uploaded like the one from last month yesterday, for archival purposes and for folks that missed out on attending tonight to watch the show. So yeah, let us know your needs surrounding like privacy and all that. Did I forget anything?
No, you didn't. That was everything, Syra. Hell yeah. Can we unmute and give Syra a round of applause because this is their first show that they're hosting solo.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Yay. I see in the chat that the TikTok celebrity is among us today. Respect the space applies. You cannot just randomly DM him. I will not reveal his identity, but he is here if you recognize him.
Yeah, it's because in one of his TikToks he talks about trash, but when Chris was like the trash man is here, I was like, is someone bad in this space? Do we have to kick him out? Like, and then I realized, I was like, dang, y'all throwing me off my groove when I'm hosting, talking about the trash man.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a DM, and then I sent it to everybody. So I violated our own rule of respect the mic. That's on me. Don't do what I did.
I don't see if he outed himself as the trash man, but if he didn't, don't bother him about it. Just go watch his TikToks and maybe message him there if his DMs are open. But yeah, welcome, Trash Man and all Trash Man fans, I guess.
So who's our first poet, Syra?
Yeah, I'm gonna open up our run of show. Where is it? See, it's just on my phone. Luya number 30. Run of show. Okay, so on deck we have Treva. I hope I am pronouncing that right, but please let me know if I'm not. But our very first poet for tonight is going to be Yas. Give it up for Yas. Yay!
Hey y'all, my name is Yaz, and I'll be performing a couple short pieces for you all. So yeah, my first piece is something I wrote about a week ago, based on one of my favorite authors, Audre Lorde, and yeah, and this piece is called Spring. If I stopped looking for cracks in the foundation of what I'm building, what could I do with that energy instead? I would stop chasing after emotionally unavailable people. I would remind my dear friend Fawning that you don't have to desire the ones that will dispose of you. Oh, and heads up, loose, constant warning, brief touching of like overworking and just the word white supremacy. But yeah, sorry. I would stop chasing after emotionally unavailable people. I would remind my dear friend Fawning that you don't have to desire the ones that will dispose of you. I would write more poems for hairy, sad girls and femmes. Go outside, sit among the trees, and breathe in her wisdom and breathe out her nourishment. I can lay in the sand, close my eyes, and let the ocean waves stimulate my calm from my head to my toes, as I feel my body and my spirit slowly piece each other like a puzzle. I can remind my gifts that they are to be praised like gold and not extracted like a machine. I can be at 10% and that is enough. I would finally be in alignment. And if not, the breathing fire dragon that is American capitalism and white supremacy will not be the gatekeeper of my joy. So that is the first piece. And the second piece is called Femhood. And yeah, their content warning, there is brief language about gendered violence on the thing, in the piece. So yeah, femhood. When I think of femhood, I think of girls like me, who may not have the money to stealth or the resources to drag it up, but we are limitless. We are the ones that create divine futures for each other out of the scraps and rubble left for us. The ones that create riots that are bigger than space and time. A movement to uphold the notion that liberating Black trans women is liberation for all of us. Girls like us understand that femhood is lineage and kinship, not a body part. We recognize the majority of the world disposes of us, but we are anointed. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. I don't want a world where Black trans lives don't just matter, but that our histories and our presence are praised like shrines in which the offerings are given back to the altar 100-fold. Thanks, y'all.
Wow, thanks, Yaz. Oh, someone else has entered. It's hard. I'm like the host and the bouncer. But yeah, thank you so much, Yaz. Yeah. I think my favorite was the last line of the first one where you're talking about like gatekeeping joy. Like, yeah, fuck that. Own it. Own your happiness. Thank you. Let's see. On my list, or before that, I did forget a few things. So, Luya runs on donations. I don't remember if I said this at the top of the show, but the team is just me and Chris. And especially in the pandemic, we're relying on Zoom Premium. We pay for our captioning program. So yeah, it takes donations to run this open mic space and all of our other programming and what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, me and Chris put a lot of time into this too, so that helps supplement our work, the labor of love that we put into Luya. And also, we have, as always, a collective poem in person. It was just like a notebook that we pass around, and everybody would write one line in the notebook, and that's the poem for the night. So the tiny.cc/Luya30 is tonight's collective poem. Feel free to fill it out whenever you're free during the show. I'll remind y'all again at intermission and towards the end as well. Let's see. And also, Chris dropped the ways in which you can donate to Luya through our Venmo, our Cash App, or our PayPal. It's my PayPal. But yeah, thank you all for supporting us. Oh, also, the suggested donation is $5, but you could do more, you could do less. Whatever is, oh yes, it goes to our upkeep and for paying our feature. So yeah, suggested is $5, but you could do more, you could do less, whatever feels comfortable to you. Cishet white allies, pay more. I was gonna say please pay more, but I'm saying pay more. No, please. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, thank you for supporting us. So on deck we have Joy performing, but right now we have Treva. Yay. Welcome. Let's see. Nasaan. I am searching.
I think Treva might not be here. So that means
me.
Joy, if you feel ready to go, you're next.
Oh, also after Joy would be, let's see, Dante / Donna Marie. So that's our current order. But yeah, Joy, if you're ready right now.
I can go. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
This is my first my first time open micing in 8 years. I haven't open mic'd in 8 years. I am very nervous. So the biggest content note for my poem that I'm gonna perform tonight is in the title, but the whole poem makes allusions to street harassment. I also make some mentions of food and a mother-daughter relationship. There's a couple words in my poem that are written in Korean that people may not be familiar with, so I'll just share them beforehand. Halmoni is the Korean word for grandmother. Omoni is the Korean word for mother. And arirang is a Korean folk song it's really well known in Korea. So the title of this poem is, let me go back up to the beginning. I wrote this poem late March, shortly after the shooting that happened in Atlanta. And it helped me process some of the frustration and anger that I was feeling. It's called Hey China Doll, What That Mouth Do, or My Breath Is Too Precious to Waste, telling every white asshole street harasser to go fuck themselves. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 7 years old, Taekwondo practice punches, count to 10 as fist meets air. Hana, dul, set, net, tassat, yasat, ilgop, yadul, ahop, yar. I was 4 feet of fury, now 5, so clearly do not fuck with me. Taste japchae, slurp slick sweet potato noodles, taste tteokbokki, sink teeth into soft cylinders of chew, taste yukejang, sip spicy stock till my nose runs dry, taste sesame oil, taste soy sauce, taste garlic, taste ginger, taste someone's harmony's sweat stirred into the stew over generations of simmering. How can I not savor history? Travel 10,000 miles from home to homeland. Say, Omoni, I was never mad at you. It was not a choice. You had no choice. They stole your choice. Hold hands and sob. Smile. Sigh. Sing, arirang. Breathe, arirang. Love, arirang. Actual anthem, irrelevant, wish actual borders were too. In the future, we pledge allegiance only to liberation. We chant together, we dream out loud. We tell our people we love them every day, call everyone neighbor and friend, and mean it. It's been more than a year we cover our faces. If I lived in Korea, I would have been able to laugh in this room with you all months ago. The sun is out. Think I'll walk to the lake this afternoon. Still, I wear lipstick under my mask, even if only I know, because I am tired of feeling closest to my femme when she is taken away from me. Thank you.
That was awesome.
Wow. Yeah, I think someone said in the chat, I agree, that last line, I feel, thank you so much, Joy. Yeah, for me, especially for me as like a more like leaning feminine, non-binary person, it's like, yeah, sometimes I want to be femme and then some assholes, well, an asshole about it. I'm like, this isn't for you. It's for me to mess up my mask. Thank you so much, Joy. Let's see. Oh yeah, for all the performers, always check in the chat after you perform because people are giving you praise and it's nice reading. Let's see. So on deck we have Axel, but coming up to the mic right now to our stage is Dante / Donna Marie. Welcome.
Hi everybody. Can you hear me and see me? Okay, yes. Whew. Okay, so I'm basically trying to figure out which poems to read that Syra and Christian haven't already heard, but it's gonna be kind of a shot in the dark because my memory is so bad. I haven't read that many times here, but I just have a bad memory. Okay. So I'm going to read a first draft that I wrote, and it was for a women's poetry workshop with RAF. And the prompt, I believe, was it was like first memory or something like that. Okay. Let me see here. Your kitchen is your first kingdom is the title. These are the days I lived, but don't remember. Young enough to be rich in baby hairs and wanting for nothing worrisome, only genuine amusement and dangling entertainment. These are the days pictured and embered by fire, existing only in my body. When I squeeze my eyelids, remember, until I create my craving, my nose covered in grits, my just begun teeth jutting from my black and pink gums, diseased, of course, and joyous still. I am a baby of a baby, always hollering and gossiping. My findings are forever juicy and incomprehensible. My secrets are endless and my most prized jewels. I am as picky as a newborn, and my little sister is a dutiful companion. She taste tests my food and removes my leftovers with haste. Her grin is gap-toothed and mischievous. Her legs are always bouncing. Together we reign over this 3-flat. We welcome all visitors who bring goods to greet us. And of course, we leave no waste. So that was one poem that is still growing into itself. And I'll read one more. And let's see here. Okay. This one is called, let's see here. I'm trying to like zoom it so I can always see this. Okay, this one's called Mouth, and it's also published in a journal called Sycamore Review. And yeah, you can find it there if you search my name, which is Donna Gary. Okay, Mouth. My mother always got jokes. Only she know how they go. When it's a secret, she grins so wide. I can see my auntie gold tooth. I can see 2 sisters in one mouth. One sister raises me, into a girl of crown grease thickness. Every morning her hands braid my hair into a prayer I wear. I am someone's daily work. One sister, a phone call, a patient arrow she arches, tense with the kind of love that pierces no one. I can see my auntie saying, "You not gonna call me mama, especially not while your mother is still alive, you hear me?" I can see my auntie protecting 2 generations of Gary women from. My mother watches me search for the word to call her in the wreckage of my birth certificate and find only her first name. Disappointment. I pour my hope into a Sunday we set to meet, and when the moon rises into Monday, I am still motherless. I am born forgettable. Grown folk talking about me and what I can't have. They all know the joke. I can see my anger awake late at night, pressed and simmering, an ear against the kitchen door. I am wondering what love, even the broken kind, will feel like. I want to laugh too. Okay, I'll be putting those poems as PDFs in the chat since I chose them afterwards. But yeah, those are the poems that I have to share today. Thank you so much, Syra, for hosting, and Christian for providing this space.
Thank you for sharing those poems with us today, Donna. Yeah, so many good lines. It's hard for me to pick one, but a few people have picked out some. Yeah, wreckage of my birth certificate. Damn. Yeah, I'm wondering what love even the broken kind will feel like. I mean, you just picked them now, but I feel like, yeah, that's the type of shit we talk about at slumber parties too. Like,
Yeah, that's real.
we're sharing our real shit. You know, when you're younger, it might be a crush, and then when we're older, we're like, let's talk about like our families. um,
Yo, those almost all my first poems I ever wrote were about my mama. And it's like that's what I talked about at slumber parties. I didn't really go to that many, but I was like, y'all don't think about your mama all the time. Just me, okay.
I feel that. Thank you, Donna.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, ang galing. That means like great in Tagalog. Um, let's see who is next. Okay, up next we have Mike, but right now we have Axel performing not poetry, singing.
Hello, hello everyone. I'm gonna be doing something a little different. I mean, those were so amazing, and I want to thank the Luya team for arranging this. I love the name Ginger. My language is so cute. Okay, so this song is about. I mean, I wrote this like last month, and this is about me trying to have my cake and eat it too, but it's that's bad. So it's basically me trying to be a hoe. The song is called I Did Nothing, story of my life. All right. So maybe we got drunk, maybe got a lot of highs, it was only for the night. But baby, I just feel so saddened by such cold exchanges. I won't feel ashamed for seeking closure. But if the past had stayed, would it even matter anyway? I did nothing, but nothing really matters after all. Could it be your way? Gain a sense of feeling life's okay. I did nothing, but nothing really matters after all. Ooh, yeah. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Ooh, yeah. I stayed up late at night, Trying to talk to good old friends and got my peace of mind. Did everything to live the down. I thought I needed change in that cold damn place on the 429. But if the past had stayed, would it even matter anyway? I did nothing, but nothing really matters after all. Could it be your way? Gain a sense of feeling life's okay. I did nothing, but nothing really matters after all. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Oh, and I just wanted to come home. Yeah, I just wanted to get back into your arms. When I left, I felt so relieved, so glad it's all over. I just wanted to come home. Let it die. I just wanted to get back into your arms. When I left, I felt so relieved, so glad it's all over. I just wanted to come home. Oh, That's it. Thank you. Sorry if that was extra.
Oh no, we appreciate it. Be like an extra next rule that we put in.
I was so nervous. Okay, but thank you guys. Thank you so much for
That
listening.
was so fucking good.
Appreciate it.
Wow, thank you so
Salamat.
much. Ya,
Salamat.
maraming salamat.
Oh, amazing. I love that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
I gotta put Axel's social media in the chat, okay? I know we have musicians in here. I know that we have like beat makers. Please link.
Right. I need collaborators for this. I'm working on an EP, but it's just I don't play any instruments. So I just sing. I have a lot of ideas.
Touring, like we'll be there. You saw I was like waving my
Also, shout out to my friend Stephanie for urging me to do this.
Yeah.
Stephanie Kamba. I don't know if she's well known here.
The unspoken heroes of open mics are the friends that tell their friends to perform. Like yeah, my friend was like, "You should perform at this new thing."
Soul Tree, her. She's my friend.
Yeah, thank you so much, Axel.
Thank you.
Yay. Yeah, make sure to check the chat. You're getting much love from everyone. Wow, that was so good. I miss singing. That really also plays into the vibe of like, because in the beginning, our first song on the playlist was So Sick by Neo, and that really gave like the yearning vibe of that song. But it's also yearning because you want to start hoeing. I really appreciate it. It's like the late hours of the slumber party when you're like, let's get serious. Let's talk about like our relationships and stuff. Who do we like? Who do we think we're becoming?
Syra gonna sing at the next Luya? Maybe.
Who you're talking to?
Sorry, my bad. I'll go back on mute.
Who? Maybe I have to come up with a new song. I haven't written a song in a while, but we'll see. Okay, so after this next performance, we'll be going on our little intermission. But right now, so our final performer in our first half of the show is going to be Mike. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, thank you for just creating the space, and it's always inspirational to hear everyone perform. And I'm really excited actually for the feature and then all the performers hereafter as well. So I have two poems. The first one's called November 5th. and I'm based in Piscataway Land in Maryland or DC area. But I'll just get into it. This morning, I danced with a fly. We did up and down twirls and side-by-side spins on the hardwood floor, promising one another we won't bump into the island, firmly cemented in Center's way. I'd give us an 8 for our success in avoiding the knocking down of plates from the table. However, the improperly tucked in chairs were their own obstacle. It was clear after a while that the fly and I were not dancing at all. Maybe I knew deep down a fly wouldn't make a good dance partner. Maybe it knew I was a human trying to capture it. So that's the first one. The second one is not titled, but wrote this back in the fall of last year. There is no relief that unearths from admission anymore, because the truth is already known. Perhaps not by you, but certainly by someone else and anyone who pays attention. Admission of wrongdoing holds no key to unlock the damage that's been done. That, like favor, is forever recorded in history. Some lies, stored and protected, like matryoshka dolls, encounter that once exposed that they were never exclusive to their owner. We all saw you put one inside the other, inside the other. You just failed to notice us watching. Yes, we kept count. Feel free to keep going whenever you are ready. Regardless of your prerogative, remember that we remember. It's a tired charade sometimes, at least from the audience's perspective. We watch you act your way onto the big stage while still remembering your first performances from when you were young. And even before then, the times when you weren't interested in theatrics at all, apart from the childish giggles and the raspberries that children do. Of course, you are still young. And the hope is that youth one day blooms, but that moment still seems a long ways away. For now, continue to learn of the seasons with sheer attention to life around you. In this chapter, you will learn how sensing these will allow you gradually to sense yourself. I was able to accept your vulnerability, but you weren't able to accept mine. Even though I was the victim of you telling me how you felt, nothing yet continued. You wanted me to accept culpability for telling you how I feel. One of the hardest things I had to learn as an empath is that you cannot fix everyone. Because if you think you can, then you have to fix yourself from believing that. Those are my poems. Thank you again, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciated the lines I really liked. I think Chris mentioned the matryoshka doll imagery. Yeah, like Ashna said, like your delivery of these pieces, especially, like really helps. What is it? The delivery of the pieces is so calming and straightforward. Doesn't feel like the right word because there is like powerful feeling behind it, right? It was just so good, and it's like room commanding. I think that's a better word, like demands attention. I don't know if that's too strong, but
Thank you.
it was sick. I don't know. That's but, yeah, and I really like the flies slow dancing too, and the yeah. I totally thought I was like that in high school, like that whole empathic, I gotta help fix people thing. Um, so yeah, thank you so much. Like, oh yeah, someone asked in the chat where can we find this poem? If you have it like written out, published somewhere, if you'd like to share in the chat,
Yeah, and I have to next time actually give you these in advance so that it can be provided. But I have a Twitter and also a Medium, so I hope to, I guess, upload it to Medium eventually. But I have Twitter and Instagram, and so you can find me there. But I plan on following everyone here because everyone's performances are great.
Yeah, build community, seek out folks, check out their work, maybe even collab. That's a great thing about these open mics. So yeah, thank you, Mike, and thank you to everyone that performed in the first half. Right after our intermission is going to be our featured poet for tonight, Ashna. But for now, Chris, truthfully, I have forgotten how long the break is supposed to be.
Hello, friends. Chris here to tell you that our break is going to be around 15-ish minutes. Might be a little shorter. During the break, you can do several things. You can attend to your needs. You can go refresh your drink, get a snack, spark up your joint, etc., etc. You can also write a line in our collective poem if you haven't written a line in our collective poem yet. You can also donate if you haven't donated yet. Like Cyrus said, $5 is our suggested donation, but feel free to, give as much as your budget, wherever we respect wherever you're at. Though, like Syra also said, if you make a high income, if you're a cishet white ally, you should donate more than $5. Real talk. So yeah, we're gonna take a quick 15-minute break and we'll continue playing our Throwback Slumber Party playlist while we do. So I will see you, I don't know what time zone everyone is in, but it's 8:25 in Chicago. So we will see you back here. Don't go anywhere. We have lots more coming for you. So come back at 8:40, right? 25, 30, 35. Yeah, 8:40.
Okay, so yeah, welcome to our feature, Ashna Ali.
Y'all, thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Christian, for inviting me. It's so cool and such an honor to be in Asian American and queer poetry spaces. There are so few of them. And it is, I think, a boon, one of the few good things about pandemic life, that we can sort of reach across the country and find one another in these spaces when we ordinarily would not be able to. So thank you, Christian and Syra and Luya, for making this space happen. I was given about 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a timer, and when it goes off, I'm going to shut up, because I think that's the best way to do that. So 20 is good. So I'm going to read a series of poems, some of which are from the chapbook, The Relativity of Living Well, which is forthcoming from the operating system Autonomous Designs. This is my handmade version, so it will look better. And the chapbook is a sort of docu-poetics exercise in documenting my first 5 months of living as a sort of queer, non-binary, brown public high school teacher in New York City, afflicted with COVID-19 and teaching online. And I was sort of documenting my surroundings and feelings while being completely unable to leave due to a very long-standing active case of COVID. Some of the other poems that I'm going to read in hopes of making things just slightly mildly less depressing are not in the chapbook, and you'll be able to see which is which. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you're able to follow along. You'll see me toggle back and forth between documents, so be patient with me there. In terms of content warnings, obviously the poems from the chapbook make a lot of references to death, illness, chronic illness, infection. They also make reference to police brutality and racial violence. So otherwise, some references to like Asian families not approving of stuff, but I feel like we're all well weathered there. So in any case, do what you have to do to take care of yourself. If anything that I bring up in my poetry is triggering or difficult, please feel free to leave, turn off your camera, do whatever it is that you need to do. So that's my blanket trigger warning. My first poem is called Object Lessons in Ontology. I'm going to open it up there. Object Lessons in Ontology. A student says, "You can't do that in real life." He refers to the act of leaning on a man's neck with the full weight of one's body for 8 minutes and 47 seconds. We consider George Floyd's real-life dead body and Chauvin's play-pretend badge, baton, gun. That's not the real world. A student says, all humans were created equal. What happened to the man who can rest his hands in his pockets while another weeps for his mother? All creation has a history, I tell them. We talk about slave patrols, how they grew to become blue lives, batons, guns, impunity, immunity. A pass card from being human, says a student. A uniform that makes you into something else. We discuss what it means to override human, crossbreed God and animal. I highlight policy, but my boys want to talk about another humane. What if we could grow up and build a world without God, but full of sacred? The next poem is called Social Distance Theory. And if you hear, that is the sound of cats fighting around my coffee table, because nothing can be done about that. All right, social distance theory. On an assemblage of screens on another firework evening, Ruthie Gilmore reminds us that abolition is not recitation. Abolition is not recitation of catastrophe. Abolition is not recitation of catastrophe or culture of complaint. She reminds the day, organized abandonment as condition of neoliberal austerity. Organized abandonment as made manifest in organized violence. We gather around the Zoom room to discuss, remind ourselves to be reminded of the organization of the familiar familial. Remind ourselves to be reminded of subtexts of care that feed on the fiction of scarcity. The closed circuit that makes of itself protection, the conditions for micro contracts to be kept. We gather around the Zoom room to discuss. We discuss living the thinking as the only cure for failure of the imagination. This looks like something like not being afraid. There are sirens in the back of more than 3 unmuted microphones. Someone asks who has felt cared for lately, and no one raises their tiny digital hand. Everyone can find the moment. The total loss of belief in one's own real, a frequent symptom of the first break into traumatic normal. It is not only the diseased national collective, but the connection between loss of real and loss of God and loss of words. Someone says, we are born creative creatures whose first and only desire is love. If we were free, I would not overwork. I would keep more love, save it up for where it can cast most light rather than burn it out quickly, leaving me digging at the wick every morning. I'd tear more open with my teeth. I would keep my knees slightly bent, ready to slam into anything that smells good enough to smother with kisses. I would glisten my pelt with rain and finger tangle its warmth from sunbasking. I would dig for ancestors. I would swim into low dark to commune with the eldest light makers, entrust them with my treasures. In loving and feeling others as I was not, I can be free and contagious. Together, each time failing again, better and better, even as they tell us we do not exist. Even as they tell us that we are so laughable that we are deluded, that they're the ones who know who we really are, who pin price tags to our skin. I feel proud and strong, as much as faint, skittish. For all this talk, in the pit of the stomach alongside love sits the naked evidence. Our destruction does not require imagination. So many dead, broken, transformed into something that looks like its master, a tradition. But we are capable of our own ritual affirmation. Ruthie reminds us, abolition is presence. I'm talking about being here in the full flesh of your body, in all of its brokenness and beautiful mess. We gather around the Zoom room to discuss. I'm going to toggle out here and go to a poem that is not in the chapbook. And it's called A Word of Advice for Bearing Late Capitalism. No matter how late you are to your wages, go over to your sleeping love and wet their lips. Press the salt curve of their cheekbone into the pulp of your mouth. Carry the wrinkled scent into your late subway, your cubicle, your studio, your classroom, wherever you sanction theft in so many invisible measures. Do it because the salt of living time, warm, nightly baked, shadowed, that they cannot take. Listen to me. They cannot take the contour of a thigh. They cannot take the grime of limbs numb with kisses, the furious life in staying up all night talking about death, making arcs of each other's bodies. The next poem is going to be featured in Zoe Glossia's Poem a Day sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And that is a collection of poetry that specifically features the poetry of folks in the disability justice community by disabled poets of color. And that series is curated by Kay Ulandai Barrett, who is also the host of the Asian American Writers Workshops M2M or Mouth to Mouth open mic, which is where I had the pleasure of hearing Christian's beautiful poetry, so I have to plug. And this is called Top Secret Club Abjection. It's H who starts me on the T's, delivers 4 fragrant boxes, mixes them herself. She includes ingredients on a handmade label. C, I find on Instagram talking about her herbalism practice, how she treats her own body. She makes videos about what my limbs need while she holds the baby, feeds the dog. I find N through P, who says, hey, I think N might have doctors who believe non-men when y'all talk. We make a list of reviews, a private Yelp for queer Crips and King. I find the Nipo Cuddle O through B, who uses it before bed to not ask too much of a massage therapist partner. I buy it as a gift for at least 3 of the club, recommend it to everyone who has enough money this month. We use it together on the phone, the buzzing and moaning from each of our homes, confusing, we hope, to whomever might be surveilling. When I start the new drug, 2 of the club tell me not to be surprised when I can't eat, when there's a zap between my ears, when joy feels just as far as rage, which combined feels like nothing. Though we live in different states, we coordinate days to say, fuck it, do whatever we like, have 1 glass of wine too many, eat everything. We cackle and cry to one another from wheelchair, bathtub, toilet seat, shower stool, somewhere on the floor. The club says plans are not plans unless we've measured capacity, found whatever honesty we have left between the sofa cushions. The club says, hey, I've got enough Valium for 2 today. The club isn't afraid of blood, vomit, piss, shit, pills passing money around. Tomorrow we get up, clothe ourselves in health, a workplace costume, because everyone knows that everyone would rather be fooled. On a slightly lighter note, we're going back to the chapbook, and this one is called The Bad Place. Those of you who are fans of The Good Place will recognize the reference. Every gender outlaw in the New York vegetable scene works in the apple section of Fort Greene Market, and of course, most of the nose-ringed and ringleted heads overseeing the arsenals of red are white. I sneer at the cottagecore on IG, drop another $50 on bad takeout, and entertain whether a girl named Sunbeam may bring me a sprig of salvation if I could hobby with soil in my fingernails. Instead, I put on a mask once a week and purchase more slave plants gently misted under jaundice lights at the big box store. My lover considers taking another lover who cannot work because they chased a fly who persisted too much and broke their toe. This the week RBG died. An old friend made gold by the many times we ripped out the other's gut tells me the next thing is aliens. And I laugh, and he says, no, Ashna, the feds found something made, but not by us. And this is fact, like not fake fact, but fact. The New York Times said. I cannot that aliens exist. I cannot poke holes in the Empire trash rag. I cannot ask about what the made thing not by us is. I just slouch and eat a grape and say no. Nope. This is the line, and draw a squiggle in the air with my foot. And he says, you know, this is the bad timeline where we are our worst selves and there's another dimension. This is my theory, but not really theory, belief. What can I do? I raise my glass to the other me out there, thriving, fully realized, prolific, amiable, and brimming with well-regulated emotions. The next day, when I count my privileges and stick my head in the fridge for something to do, I am grateful. Grateful for the genetically modified baby tomatoes and the half-full bottle of rot gut wine. Grateful that this other Ashna exists, and grateful that I would hate them. To toggle back to anyone who is the kind of not very appropriate elder to the younger folk in your family. This one's for you. When asked what example I set for my brother's baby girls, I have clothed my home in rust, mustard, and burnt umber for exactly this, wax paper harmony with autumn's dry curl. Exactly this branch, bleed of charcoal tapping the pane. The cats and I worship any surface with a grain, a little bristle, brush. We rub our backs watching warblers come to fisticuffs for one cozy perch in particular. This is what I learned the hard way to call precious. This color song and silence. I cannot sell it with a power-bleached smile. It does not save me points with American Express. Yes, my womb will remain empty. It's true, I still sneak a cigarette now and then, and yes, my degrees are mostly decorative, like the ink under my skin that I also chose and paid for. And yet, even so, little ones, even in this stillness, with all my aches, devoid of answers, you should know I am so, so alive. And the last one I have slotted to share with you, unless there's a ton of time left on the clock, is We Live on Love, which is part of one of the pandemic poems after Ilya Kaminsky. We live on love even when scorched and delirious, nights garbled with sweat. We brew each other's tea, muster the strength to stand just long enough to make soup. It passes. We swaddle our hands in surgical gloves, clothe our faces in masks just to weigh Parmesan in our palms at the grocery store, giddy with fresh prosciutto and lemon balm, even if the bread is all gone. While everyone writes of the slow death of not being touched, I chop herbs while you pick playlists to be fed to. Here, taste this. While everyone counts the days since they last touched flesh, I am slathered in kisses, pinches, praise. I regress until all I have to do is lift my chin to announce my pucker. I always get exactly what I want. We tent our heads and sip wine on our stoop, listen to the saxophonist playing into the mauve sweep of evening, alone. Everyone sickens, thinks about death. We stack our mortality against youth, debate the mystery of what lurks in our lungs. Even then, I tell you the truth. Everything else was always a hindrance to this love, this food, this living. And that will be it from me, folks. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you and this space.
Could we all unmute and give Ashna a huge, huge round of loving applause?
Talented.
Ashna, where can we pre-order this chapbook? Where can we find it? What?
Yo, in all honesty, I have to typeset the thing and I've just been busy and tired. But I will typeset it and I will get it to the publisher. And when that happens, I will be advertising the shit out of it on my Instagram, which is, I can put it in the chat if y'all haven't already. So if you want to find me there, please do. I'm hoping to get this thing rolled out by Pride. So that I can get my other queer POC disabled poets to do some celebration readings. So if that's you, email me or find me also.
Thank you, Ashna. That was so.
Ashna, can you also tell us about the open mic you mentioned?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Okay, y'all. So the Asian American Writers Workshop here in New York City hosts a bi-monthly open mic specifically for queer POC poets, writers, musicians, what have you. Anything is game. And for as long as we are unable to share physical space together, it is open to anyone, anywhere. And you can find information for that on the Asian American Writers Workshop website or Instagram or Twitter. I was last season's co-host with poet Kay Ulandai Barrett, which is how I came to know Christian and her gorgeous work. And I strongly advise that y'all attend, support them, discover new people there, and read your beautiful work, share it with people on the East Coast so that we are not deprived of your brilliance.
Yes. And also all the, yes, Kay went to Lane Tech, so did I. Shout out queer Filipino people in the Midwest, from the Midwest. And yeah, all the features also at AWW are so awesome. The one time I went in person, the feature was Stacey Ann Chin. It was awesome. She like told these people to shut up because they were like talking over her. She was like, this is my show. It was like all the rich white people that were there. She was like, you're speaking over me. And I really appreciated that. And I also went to the last one. I think, yeah, Chris performed. I don't remember the names of the people that were the features, but the two of them, I believe, they were very good.
All of the posters for all of last season's my mouth to mouths are also on my Instagram. So if you want to go digging for the names of excellent poets, you can go digging there also.
Mm-hmm. Also, yes, Chris reminded in the chat, for our open mics, our donations not only go to the upkeep of Luya, but they also go to pay our feature. So yes, please donate. Patting my hair as a way to remember things. What else? Before we move in to the rest of the second half of the show. I think that was it. Oh, please contribute to our collective poem, tiny.cc/Luya30. I also have yet to do it, but as you can see, it's because I am here speaking to y'all. But I'll try to do it once I get a little break somewhere. Yeah, please contribute so we can all write a nice collective poem together. Yeah. So I'm gonna pull up my list again. So up next, or well, on deck, we have Stuti performing. And right now we have Hallie, I believe it is pronounced.
You would be right. Hi, I'm Hallie. And I'll be presenting 2 poems today. Pride issue in May. The first poem is titled The Sky is Gay. The sky is gay, the purple of the night contrasting the silvery moon that her eyes glow in, eyelashes and mascara, happiness radiating as the stars glow in the purple night. The darkness moves, and no one can see the hidden kisses we take, the moonlight in her hair, the wonder in her eyes as the stars dance above us. Our hidden acts of love happen under the purple night sky, keeping us safe from the lurking shadows of the day. It's purple, a safety blanket for our love. The sky is gay, the purple of the night, keeping us hidden, keeping us safe, keeping us alive. And the second poem is titled Bleeding Rainbow. Trigger warning, obviously, with the title, mentions of veins and mentions of bleeding. Super fun. Bleeding Rainbow. Rainbow courses in my veins. When I am hurt, I bleed pink, purple, and blue. My identity shines in the light of the sun. I just want to hold a girl's hand in public without weird looks, to like a guy and not be criticized for being something I am not. Every hurtful comment, every stinging word, every bite out of my skin causes the rainbow in my veins to move a little faster. I bleed pink, purple, and blue because I am proud of who I am. I wouldn't change myself or my life for the world. Do you feel that way too? That's all. Thank you.
Snaps! Yay!
Well, that was, I think, Hallie's first time reading at Luya. So if you want to unmute and give them a big round of applause, let's give them support.
Woo!
Woo!
Leave it on.
Yay! Oh yeah, Haley, if you want to drop your social medias in the chat. Oh yeah, on Twitter at your theater nerd. I love it. Also, yes, to answer the rhetorical question at the end, I also feel that way. Fellow bi people, confirm, deny, let it or leave it rhetorical, but I like to answer questions. But yes, that resonated a lot with me. Thank you, Haley. On deck, we have Kingston, but right now we have my kuyate, M. Marbella. Yay.
Hi, all. Can you hear me? Am I coming in okay? Salamat. My name is M. Marbella. Antinen, go back into your room. Sorry, that was my tita. Hi, M. Marbella here, coming from Munse Lenape and Wapingerland, aka my tita's apartment in Manhattan. Yeah, legit. I will be doing 2 poems for you today. Just trigger and content warning, mentions of suicidal ideation, trauma, drug and alcohol use. I think that's it. But if you do need to take some space, turn off your camera, get some air, feel free to. I want you to take care of yourselves as much as possible. And yes, Queens does get the money. So I'm going to be sharing the first poem in the chat. because I forgot to send it to Chris. Sorry, Chris. This one is called Death Encounters the Poet as a Child. I wanted to end my life at 11 years old for failing a quiz on prepositions. The other children sang of my failure like a victorious nursery rhyme. I understood too well that a fall from the second floor window lacked the conviction to shatter my hollow child bones. So I asked Mrs. Gorney if I could go to the bathroom and kill myself. I hoped my gratuitous sobbing and earnest pleas to God would bring the consciousness from my body so that I'd never wake up, as these feelings of uselessness bore down on me like an elephant foot through a centipede. Okay, thanks guys. Second poem. It's actually, these two poems are part of a triptych that I wrote a long time ago that I just got to edit right, this week actually. The third one is sort of like the conclusion to the triptych, where things sort of look up a little bit. This one is called, and Chris, I did send you that one, so if you want to, yes, I see it on the screen, perfect. It's called Death is Obstructed by the Poet's Helicopter Mother of a Tita. The last time I wanted to kill myself, I piled a month's worth of Klonopin onto a tea saucer, ready to chase them with a $50 bottle of champagne. I figured, if I were going to die, my descent into Hades should be elevated, celebrated, and painless. That Karen wouldn't begrudge my lack of an obol if I appeared at the River Styx with enough panache. I seated myself on my worn futon, ready to offer myself the definitely not a virgin sacrifice, the fiberglass frame of this ancient futon digging into the meat of my ass, when a single thought crystallized before me. I should call my auntie name. Because for a moment, clinging to life tasted sweeter than my magnum of Piper Heisedek, so with shaking hands, I summoned her, this hovering geriatric vampire who sucked away at what little sanity I had left with daily phone calls to make sure I had eaten and to ask questions about her cell phone that a tech-savvy 5-year-old could have answered. But I knew if she hadn't been in a cab zooming across the Queensboro Bridge, the pills would have been swept into my mouth, because rotting on that futon, shackled to onerous numbing pain, was the only fate I could see for myself. But when she arrived, her face the color of chalk, eyes rimmed red with spider webs, I could only bring myself to tell her, I'm hungry. Can we get something to eat? So we took the Q32 to my favorite diner on 61st and Roosevelt, with the waiters in black bow ties. In the chill of the bus's air conditioning, my quiet tears turned icy, and I sat a little closer to her, wanting to reach for her pale, weathered hand, to thank her for being there when countless others had not been. But instead, I swallowed those words, chased them down with overpriced orange juice and runny eggs, and sat with her in amicable, ragged silence. Thanks, guys. Whew.
Thank you so much, Em. Oh yeah, let's I think it'd be good. Let's all take like a collective breath or two together. Let me get my, where am I? Can't see my camera. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay, ready? Let's go in through our nose. Fill it up. Out through your mouth. Yeah. I was gonna say I used to be a singer, but I am a singer, so I'm used to them being like, yeah, just get that diaphragm moving. But yeah, I thought it would be good to take a breath after talking about a very important topic of, thanks Amanda, of the very important topic, of suicide. And I've been thinking about that recently too, of how loved ones can offer care to you in times even when it's just a little like, yeah, let's get food, or do you want to stand outside with me for 10 minutes in the sun so you have so you can see the sun. Sometimes that's what you need. You need a little prescription, at least to take you out from the deep, deep depths. Yeah, vitamin D can help a little bit. And then once you have enough energy, you can look for other ways of healing too. Yeah, thank you so much, Em, for both those poems. I'm always in awe of when you perform. Past feature of Luya too. This past, I think it was October, because it was a spooky Halloween theme. Let's see. So on deck for the show we have J Aura, but right now we have Kingston. Yay.
Kingston is also one of our mods for our NaPoWriMo Discord. Shout out to King for giving all the awesome critiques.
Hi. Okay, 1 second. So I also forgot to email my poem for tonight. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good, cool. Because I was nervous. Yeah. So content warning at the end. I reference like a hookup with another person. We're late for the birthday party. The family van snakes through side streets, snailing through suburbs. News radio never sounded so grating. The host droning on about financial futures. My mother keeps 3 seconds stopping at all the intersections. The night stretched on until we pulled up to the venue. Inside, I kick my shoes into an empty cubbyhole. Stepping onto spongy floor, I watch 3rd grade girls free their limbs. The air rings with shrieks of glee. I see somersaults, backflips, and cartwheels. Those girls are able to get closer to the sky than I. I am grounded by my body. My attempts at cartwheels are more like crab walks. I don't have the strength to ask for a lesson on how to fly, how to be free, how to be. After gymnastics, there's a second part to the night that was not shared with me, a slumber party. All the girls are ready with sleeping bags and pajamas in their rucksacks, ready to have a magical night of snacks and secrets, giggles and girl talk. The birthday girl gives me a half-hearted invite to her house. The air stings with silence. My mother says no, and we go home. The family van crawls away from the burn of being left out, and we don't talk about feeling alone. In my room, I slip into my sleeping bag. My eyes are dry, time slips by, and I lie in silence. I have never known the joy of vulnerability with childhood friends. My secrets never shared, my fingernails never clumsily painted by young hands. I am now at the age where a sleepover means something else. I no longer have a bedtime. Intimacy no longer means admitting to a schoolyard crush. Any horseplay leads to the entanglement of tongues. The night snaps into runny eggs for breakfast. The smell of coffee fills the kitchen before my return to daily life. Thank you.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, Chris, if you wanted to go first with your praise.
I just wanted to say that Slumber Party is one of the future prompts for NaPoWriMo, so you already have it done. Like, but of course you can also write another poem.
Yeah, I probably will.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Kingston. Yeah, that was so good. Truthfully, I don't remember what Chris's answer was, but yeah, same for me. I didn't have sleepovers until I was older. And when it's older, it's different. And so it's like when you're a kid, it's like, oh, we're going to talk about crushes. So I feel like right now, especially through that poem, I really like, it's like we're living it now. We're doing that stuff for like our, I like to think of all these joyful things for like our inner child. So yeah, that was so great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, who else will be in the house? They're like, ask their parents, and then they like, and my parents are still like, no. Or it's always just sleepovers with cousins, and that's different because it's like already ready-made, like friends your age, dependent on the
Every
relationship.
time I asked to go to like a party when I was younger, my mom was always like, who else will be there? And it was like, will there be boys? And then I just laugh every time I think about that, because like now I'm like so gay. I'm like, you didn't even think. What about the not boys? But yeah.
Yep, energy. And now it's just me in my room by myself. But yeah, to future sleepovers someday. LOL, Brandon. Family drama causing even more sleepover problems. Okay, let's see. Up or on deck we have Lonnie, but right now we have Jayora.
Hey everybody. Sorry, I was having a lot of technical difficulties earlier. Ever since I updated my Mac to whatever version it is right now. But happy NaPoWriMo. I'm on my phone right now. I wasn't able to send the poem through the Google Doc, but I just wanted to, yeah, I'm just having one of those days. So I'm a little flustered. But I did want to say, when I did hop into this chat, I just wanted to shout out my sister. I think she's still in here. I see my sister in here, my Ate Christine, and Luya is a special place. I'm really sure that hopefully she's enjoyed, and I've wanted to see her kind of join and experience one of these things. So I'm really happy to see her in here. So yeah, I have a couple pieces that I've actually shared to my Instagram. It's the first time I've actually shared pieces on there, and I wanted to do it just for NaPoWriMo this month. And it's just about like social media health. They're intended to loop, but I just combine them for the sake of Luya here. So this is called Patience and Diet. Patience. We struggle to practice, for we live in a world where too many things come at an instant. Gratification coming in the form of injections in our eyes filled with social media lies and human highlight reels. Can I same day ship happiness, or am I forced to wait 7 to 10 business days? We're plagued in a society aimed to replace hard work and dedication with distractions, raising a generation that praises virtual reactions, phasing out and taking action against the virtue and practice of a little thing that makes me think. That's about time we change our diet. That early morning screen time will not warm up our minds the same way that natural light and meditation will. Snacking on memes like potato chips as if we're unable to stop at just one. Carbo loading against our discipline as we struggle to digest the whole podcast. We sift through IG and Snap stories for lunch, sending signals of comparison that have us question our sense of self-worth. Feeding our brains with fake news from those that failed to cite their sources must have been the same people that used to forget to turn in their bibliographies. So instead of failing into a Wikipedia hole, we fall into a whole lot of bullshit. It's as if our TikTok attention spans can drop as low as 8 seconds after screen fatigue, endless scrolling through trending topics as we try to find the quality in all this quantity. For dinner, we binge watch streaming services that now come conveniently packaged with recaps to remind us that our ability to retain information is overwritten with info. Feeling bloated has my brain thinking that with patience, hopefully one day, we could change our mental diet.
Wow. I didn't know if you paused because you were done or if you paused because there was like a technical difficulty, so I was waiting. I was like, is there more to the poem?
Like, how is the connection in the streets, JR?
Straight from the Daily Center. Yeah, it's such a clear picture. I thought it was real for some reason. What's going on?
I couldn't hop on the online, so I just went straight to the streets for the sleepover.
Right in the middle of downtown Toronto. Welcome everyone to the space. Yeah, that was so legit. I'm trying to use like the automations on my iPhone, so it's like whenever I stop my morning alarm, it sets a 15-minute timer, and in that 15 minutes I like check everything, and then I'm like, once it's over, I'm like, okay, I have to get out of bed and like go do what I have to. So I'm like trying to limit, yeah, how much time I spend in my bed, and trying to go, like I said earlier too, get that sunlight. Yeah, thank you for that. Super hella important, especially in these times where I feel like, well, yeah, a lot of people, including, or I myself am using, social media to make up for not seeing people face to face in person.
Can we do a quick pause, Syra?
Yes.
Hi, everyone.
Okay. So on deck we have Amanda, but right now we have Koi the Poet. Mr. TikTok, according to Chris. She said it, not me.
All right. Hi everyone. So I have like two short poems today. And I'll just jump right into it. The first one I was inspired. I think someone earlier in the chat said poop on company time. I might have imagined that. I might have completely imagined that today. So if you didn't, thanks anyways, because I was inspired by what I thought someone said that. So this is a very short poem called Poop on Company Time. Poop on company time, because if they're gonna give you minimum wage, you should give them minimum work. Poop on company time, because it takes an hour to make enough to afford lunch. It's gonna take an hour to push enough energy. It's gonna take an hour to push enough to cleanse your body. Poop on company time, because they already treat you like shit. And since they don't give you parental leave, you might as well give birth to baby shits. So there's, oh, my bad. I should have given a content warning. My bad. But yeah, so that's the first piece. So thanks for that inspiration. And then the other quick piece I wanted to do is kind of like a little more serious. It's called Relief of a Wound. Shout out for the Napa Remo Discord. Yeah, Relief of a Wound. An overcast sky hangs above the gray outside, eavesdropping in from the rain-studded glass. A digital metronome tells my body to stay on beat, to keep the song going. 1, 2, 3. A nurse knocks on the door. 1, 2, 3. He is a stout man with Velcro stubble adorning his neck, a hearth-place smile secured on his lips. Do you need anything? It's the first time anyone has asked me that. Aromas of alcohol tickle my nose before a sharp thread disappears into my arm for the second time that day. I see the blush of my cheeks. Oh, I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting the content warning. So, content warning for allusions to blood and hospitals. Yeah, okay. For the second time that day, I see the blush of my cheeks outside of its home. I whimper little streams to life, and for the first time, my mother does not remind me that dams look great in blue. Green acrylic trees stand patiently still on the wall behind the crayon drawings. Orange-eyed tree frogs sit on all the broad tropical leaves that remind my parents of home. I learned to be a rain man that day, how to turn even the rugged dry of my father's cheeks into a wetland. Turns out liberation was inside of me the whole time. Thanks, everyone.
You should find Koi the Poet on Button Poetry if you want more heart-wrenching father poems. Someone in the chat quoted the father line, so I just thought I'd let y'all know.
Yeah, I love that line. Liberation was inside of me the entire time. Also, yeah, I don't know if someone said poop on company time, but I'm willing to consider it. What do they call it? That like
I feel like I've texted this to you before, Brandon.
the Berenstain Bears thing. Maybe I'm having a Mandela effect moment. I don't know. I don't know. I'm willing to accept it. Also, yes, poop on company time. Yes, thank you. Yeah, the poem has the title has Chris all over it. Let's see. On deck we have. Oh, hold on. On deck we have surprise. It's Chris. But right now we have Amanda.
Hello. Hi, I'm gonna sing a song. Some of y'all might have heard me sing it already. I performed this on a concert that we did back in January that Christian was the host of, and Syra had an amazing poem in. It's called Kababayan Show. You can find it. I think it's on YouTube now. It's definitely on Facebook. But this is a song that's been really like stuck in my head. Yeah, it's a Filipino lullaby called Sa Ugoy ng Diyan, which is kind of means like, wait, what does it mean? The rocking of the cradle, like the feeling of how the cradle rocks. The basic translation is just, missing your mom, and all those feelings that come with that, being away from your mother. I don't know about y'all, but I live like 2,000 miles away from my mom. She lives in California. I live in Chicago. And I miss her a lot, especially in these last few weeks with all these, wild events going on in our country. And this song's been just kind of comforting for me in this time right now. So I'm going to share it with y'all. Sana'y di nagmaliw ang dati kong araw nang munti pang bata sa piling ni nanay. Nais kong maulit ang awit ni Inang mahal, awit ng pag-ibig habang ako'y nasa duyan. Sa aking patulog na labis ang himbing, ang bantay ko'y tala, ang tanod ko'y bituin. Sa piling ni nanay, langit ay buhay, puso kong may dusa, sabik sa ukoy ng duyan. Sana'y di nagmaliw ang dati kong araw nang munti pang bata sa piling ni nanay. Nais kong maulit ang awit ni Inang mahal, awit ng pag-ibig habang ako'y nasa duyan. Sa aking patulog na labis ang himbing, ang bantay ko'y tala, ang tanod ko'y bituin. Sa piling ni nanay, langit ay buhay, sabik sa ukoy ng duyan. Nais kong matulog sa dating duyan ko, inay. O inay. Thanks, y'all. I know. I want to go sleep in my crib.
That was so beautiful and cute. Steven Universe is Filipino. That's what was going through my mind. It's like the ending song, but like something like that. Very beautiful little thing. And on the I love the ukulele accompaniment too. Thanks.
Yay. Thanks for
Hope we'll collab on singing more in the future.
Amanda, what's your social media handle?
Oh, I'll drop it in here. It's Black Belt Soprano, or on Twitter I'm Slacker Ninja on Twitter and Twitch. I'll do that. I'll do both of them. Yay! Thank you.
I just feel like I have to mention that like there are not that many Black Filipino streamers on Twitch, so follow Amanda.
Yes. I have nothing else to say, but like, yes, I agree. Thanks, Amanda. Wow, so peaceful. And now, to close out the show, last but definitely not least, is the founder of Luya, my ate. I was trying to find things to list, but I like can't think of anything. Oh, chef extraordinaire. Yes, Chris is good at many things. I'll save this for when it's her birthday. Well, because you told me to go on, I won't. So it's good.
Wow. Ouch.
Okay. It's all the Aries in my chart. Now we have Chris.
Hello, friends. How Chris of me to decide to do this at the last minute so that I could specifically be last when people have had to log off and go to bed. Content warning for allusions to assault. Honestly, I don't even like mention it in the poem, but that's what the poem metaphors are about. Yeah, I wanted to do this one because I've only ever done it once before in public, and I was just like thinking about slumber parties and like what are the things that like come up when you're at a slumber party with your friends and you're like, you know, when all of the like rowdy stuff has like it's like wound down and like whoever is still left awake, it's kind of like secret sharing time. So yeah, this poem is called Who Could Believe That and Survive, and came from a series of questions that this other poet, Michelle Peñalosa, asked a group of us in this like email thread. What is easier for you to believe? I am the architect of my own destruction, obstinate girl to build on shifting sands. When the house quivers into a tomb, I whisper choice as it shudders still. What is easier for you to dismiss? The rust whine of the gate when I fling it open, the uneven tiling of the beautiful floor, the constant flickering of the warm glow lamps on the walls. What do you have to believe in order to survive? I forgot to carry a decimal. This undertaking a mere error, the figure needing to be erased, simply me, my soft, yielding body mistaken. I built the house alone. I bricked myself in. The next house will be flawless because everything is in my control. There are no ghosts to bleed through the walls. What do you know but refuse to believe? There was no house at all. There was simply no love to build it. It was a crumbling thing before you ever saw it. There was nothing you could have done differently. All of it was rot and you are not weak. The ghosts were already there. There was no sand to shift, only blooming earth. You only knew what you were told. You only loved how you were taught. And that's that piece.
I just let there be silence so that we could properly cap off that poem because I think it's important. Thanks, Chris. Oh, squeak. Trying to think of like which line I really liked, but I really liked all of them. I cannot pick. And also I'm stalling because this is your last and final chance if you have yet to write in our collective poem, but you want to contribute. Please do so now while I
play a song.
While I say things. Oh yeah, so let's see. I guess reminders. Please donate if you are able to. Like I said before, all of our donations go towards both the upkeep of Luya and towards paying our feature for the open mic. So yeah, we're on Venmo at Luya Poetry, Cash App, $ Luya Poetry, or on PayPal, paypal.me/Syra Ukal. We have, let's see, events. We have our workshop for the month coming up. I'm checking the date on my phone right now. April 25th, Sunday, we will be having our next installment of our monthly workshop series, and that will be hosted by our previous featured performer at our February show, the Queer Lunar New Year show, our friend Micah. Yeah, they'll be leading us. Yes, the workshop's called Trans Futurist Prayer, and I'm super excited. Even just based on the title itself, lots of good stuff will come from it. So information on that, like how to register and everything, will be out soon. But yes, so far the date is confirmed. Yes, also we've mentioned it sort of like scattered throughout the show, but April is National Poetry Month and National Poetry Writing Month. And to celebrate us here at Luya, so me and Chris built a whole dang Discord server so we could all celebrate together. Oftentimes the way people celebrate and the way that we're doing it is attempting to write one poem every day for the whole month. So all of April, that's 30 poems. And so in this Discord, we have a whole community of folks that have joined that are attempting to do this. I don't think anyone has done it every single day, but that's like totally fine. We're not holding people up. We're not going to say, hey, where's your poem? This isn't school. This isn't like an assignment. This is for you. We're centering how you want to push yourself as a writer. Write as much or as little as you want. Chris and I are like the server admins, and as we've mentioned, we have both poetry moderators that help offer critique on pieces if you want or if you ask for them when you post your poem. And we also have server mods that help, keep the peace. But everyone, as it is a Luya space, everyone's pretty cool. I might be biased, but yeah, our community's great. Everybody's talking about real great stuff. Oh yeah, we offer a prompt for every single day, so you're not starting off dry, I guess, when it comes to writing your poem every day. I don't know if that's the right term. What else? But yeah, if you can still join us. You're not too late. I think that's enough stalling for the collective poem.
You ready to read it, Syra?
Mm-hmm. Wait, Chris, are you gonna share it?
Oh, my bad. Do you want me to share it on screen?
The poem.
Let's go.
Okay, here's the poem we all wrote together, y'all. I'll read the prompt. It's the same as the one that we offered for the whole show. So, slumber party. Do you want to know a secret? Eyes emoji. Grab your overnight bag, your PJs, and your toothbrush. It's time for a sleepover. What is it about staying up past your bedtime with your best friends that allows your most intimate thoughts to flow freely? Despite its name, not a lot of actual sleeping happens at a slumber party. What kind of hijinks do you stretch your wakefulness for? What unexpected vulnerability is created? This ain't your regular degular slumber party. We don't leave our dreams at the bottom of our pillow. Our hearts resurface, beating together to the musical beat blasting from the somehow still functioning CD player. A stolen bottle of a parent's tequila is passed around, a sacred vessel in which we drown our fears and offer our secrets, a blessed communion of young, uncertain souls, mastering the art of the puff puff pass of the mouth to mouth of the do I want to do you or be you, but no matter, let me braid your hair. As each strand reminds my fingers to be nimble in reaction to your playful jerks. I wish you had Rapunzel's never-ending hair, so that I could braid it forever. I wish you a peaceful sleep, a cocoon of warmth and love, so that you may awaken a rested butterfly, so that you may beautify the world. Yeah, that went from 0 to 100% gay. Real fast.
Oh my god.
Why? Like,
Well, everybody, that's it.
we have come to the end of our show. Thank you all for attending.
I will leave. As usual, we will leave the Zoom open for anyone who wants to hang out, and we'll play music. Oh yeah.
Thank you all. Oh my god. Little monsters. All right.